Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Saranaagamanang sampunnam. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapama datthāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Tisaranena saddhim panchasīlaṃ dhammam sādhukaṃ surakhitaṃ katva apamādena sampādetha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes, devotees, today we are going to discuss about the basic concepts of Buddhism, and I would like to introduce a little bit meditation in this particular Dhamma talk, and also I would like to talk about stress release and anger management a little bit. There are a few topics actually. Pinuka require, I think he already asked me to talk about a few topics here, and then also I would like to discuss about how we should develop Buddhism. So before that, I would like to, actually we have I think this is about a 1 hour Dhamma talk and 1 hour Q&A session. So we have 2 hours. So if you don't have any question, I can just continue my talk. So here, we know when we study Buddhism, there's a special purpose when we practice the path. Each and every one of us know that. I think most of you have learned about Buddhism before. Most of you have more understanding about that. Maybe you have read before, maybe you have listened to Dhamma talks. I think that each and every one of you had some background before, no? No. Yes, little bit at least. Little bit better. At least you know that the 3 refuges, Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, main concept of Buddhism, the believing in Buddha and his qualities. Actually, it's not just the belief like we just believe in Buddhism or just believe in Buddha just because he's a religious leader or just because he's a person who explains about the concept of phenomena. You have to understand and you have to know about the qualities of Buddha and how he performed as a leader and how he performed how he delivered his Dhamma to other people in the world, and what is his character and how he behaved as a noble person. So it's about his personal condition and it's about his knowledge. If you have some understanding about his knowledge and about his vision, about his path, then we call the knowledge of Buddha, or taking the first refuge out of 3. The first one is Buddhang Saranam Gacchami. Just now, a second ago in Pali, we chant that particular stanza. You just repeat after me. So meaning of that, I accept the teaching of Buddha. I accept the qualities of Buddha. So to accept, you have to know the basic qualities, the main qualities of Buddha. When you consider about the qualities, you know there are many qualities, like infinity of qualities. You can't really count the qualities of Buddha. It's infinity. But we can categorize them, and we can we can recognize main 9 qualities of Buddha. We call Nava Arahadi Buddhaguna in Sinhala, in Pali, also called Arahadi Buddhaguna, Arahadi Buddhaguna. So, which means there are, especially we mentioned about Araham, Samma Sambuddha, Vidyacharana Sampanna, Sugata, Lokavidu, Anuttara Purusham Sarthi, Sattha Manasana, Buddha, and Bhagava. Those are the 9 qualities. Those are just Pali words. You can easily can understand them. Don't worry. I'll explain one by one. Simply, because the explanation is very complicated and it's very big. If someone wants to study about this, you can get some reference on the internet. It's very easy to find out the qualities of Buddha. Word by word, you can get this explanation. In Sinhala, you can read the book called Suvisi Mahaguna by Renukani Chandipala Mahathero. For the English listeners, there are many other English books explain about the qualities of Buddha. And nowadays, it's very common in internet. You can find out any internet resource for that. And the first quality of Buddha is Araham. The person who gets rid from all the suffering in the world, the person who gets rid from all the desire in this world, the noble person who are suitable to receive all kinds of offerings and gifts. So, because Buddha actually, as a leader and as a religious leader, he never expects anything from his students, and he never asks his students to pay respect to him. No. People respect to him, and his students pay respect to him just because he had these wonderful qualities in his mind, his character. So the first quality is Araham. Araham quality explains about the first one. Araham quality explains about the noble vision that he had, and also the explanation that the other people actually, how the world recognized him as Lord Buddha. So in that case, they explain Arahant. Arahant means the person who is suitable to receive all kind of offerings, the person who is suitable to develop, person who is suitable to, person who get rid from all the desires and defilements and all kind of kilesas. Second one, Samma Sambuddha. Samma Sambuddha means our Lord Buddha never get any instruction from any other teacher to follow the Noble Eightfold Path. He had teachers. When he was a layperson, he learned how to practice archery. He learned how to practice fighting. He learned how to practice about how to manage the country, how to rule the country. All these things he had learned by using teachers. But after that, he learned the Samadhi section, the concentration meditation by Uddakaram, Buddha, and Alarakalam. But the Noble Eightfold Path and path to Nibbana, he actually, the knowledge he received, he got by himself, by his own understanding, by the power of parami concept. So he developed his parami for a long time. In the number we explained, Sara Sankhya Kalpa Lakshya. One kalpa. Can you explain? Can you imagine about a kalpa? Any of you have any idea what is kalpa? Kalpa is the amount of time. So when I explain about the part, you can understand what kind of, actually, how his understanding was about time and space and calculation. Asankhya is a number in Buddhism. Asankhya means 1 and 140 zeros is Asankhya. So it's a huge number. When the mathematics is not so advanced at that time, 6th century BC, Buddha explained about a number 1 and 140 zeros. So then you can understand about his knowledge about the ordinary things. This is just ordinary thing, this is not about something supernatural, something that the knowledge they gain from outside. And also he explained about time, the amount of time, one kalpa. Actually, this kalpa, they have different meanings. Some believe different I'm going to explain you an example. This particular example have different version of explaining, because some monks they explain different way. So the way that we explain a little bit different like this. Imagine there's a box, 7 mile, 7 mile by 7 mile. Can cover your entire university by that box. Imagine that someone can build a huge wooden box like that. 7 mile by 7 mile by 7 mile, huge box. Then you fill up that particular box with mustard seeds, the small black color mustard seed. Every 100 years, you imagine this box will remain for a long time and nothing will happen to that box because of rain or wind or fire or nothing. So, and the mustard seed will not never affected by any insect or animal or nothing will happen to them. Every 100 years, you remove one mustard seed from that box. Every 100 years, you remove one mustard seed from that box. One day, the box will be empty, but the kalpa will not be empty. So that is the limitation of kalpa. It's a huge period of time. And there's another example. Some they believe 1 yojana is 7 miles. Some believe it's 12 miles. Some believe 17 miles. Some believe 4 miles. It's a different explanation. But anyway, that is the more important part. The part is that to get an understanding how big is this kalpa. That is the most important part here. There's another explanation. This is more difficult to understand. Imagine there's a rock, like a box, shape of a box. That rock is 7 mile, 7 mile by 7 mile. But that is not an empty box. Empty rock is this particular rock. Imagine, it's just imagination. They ask, he explained to Venerable Ananda, every 100 years, you wipe this particular rock by using a cloth. Every 100 years. Just because of wiping, just because of that effect, every time when you effect what happens, little bit of rock will, the little bit of molecules in that rock, in the surface will remove by the wiping. So just because of that, every time when you move, every time when you wipe, a certain amount of molecules will remove. And like that, one day the rock will disappear, but the kalpa will not disappear. So our Lord Buddha used Sara Asankhya Kalpa Lakshya. Amount of 4 kalpa like that. Asankhya Kalpa, not like that. Asankhya is 140 zeros. 1 and 140 zeros is Asankhya. So kalpa and 4 times. It's a huge number. So when you have time, if you don't have any other work after university, you can just calculate that. Actually, there was a student in Kandy, he tried to calculate, because you can actually calculate the box, and you can calculate the mass of mustard seed, and then you can divide that number by the box. But that is not the important part. The important part is to understand the kalpa is a huge time. So Buddha had to practice this parami, the qualities, for a long time for the enlightenment. So the knowledge that he gained is not simple. He worked so hard for that. It's not so simple thing. And also because of that, when he enlightened, when he reached Buddhahood, he understood all these concepts by himself without any other teacher. The knowledge he gained by himself. That's why we call Samma Sambuddha, the second quality of Buddha. And the third quality, Vicca Charana Sampanna. Vicca is knowledge, Charana is behavior. So mostly Charana we put like his seal, the virtue, the principles that he practiced. And Vicca, the knowledge that he had, and supernatural powers that he had. Vicca Charana Sampanna means he is a teacher fulfilled with all the knowledge and all the well-behaves. So behaviors are wonderful, and knowledge is wonderful. So then we name him as Vicca Charana Sampanna. Sugata means he follow the path nicely. The path is noble, beautiful path. Path is complete. Path is there's no doubt in the path. Just follow the path without any doubt. Just follow the path smoothly. So we call Sugata. Lokavidu means he had understanding about the world, not the world that we can see like Earth and Moon and all these solar systems. Worlds like conceptual world and the physical world, the animal world, and the phenomenal world. He had an understanding about the world, Because every time when we deal with our physical world, animal world, and we deal with the world, the space, and also we deal with the phenomenal conception of world. So here, understanding about all these kind of things, how the mind works, how the mental conditions work, how that particular world works, how the animal work, how their physical behaviors works, and how the space works. Here, understanding about all these three subjects, a full understanding actually, there's not the understanding, the understanding about, total understanding about the world. It's called Lokavidu. Anuttara Purusadhammasakti means he had understanding about actually his knowledge was totally fulfilled, and he used that ability to uh, educate the people who are really violent. He converted them to well-behaved, compassionate people from that violation. Number one example is Angulimala. Angulimala killed over 1,000 people alone by his sword. Every time when he killed a person, he collected a finger from that person because his teacher asked him to do that. And Buddha advised him nicely. Because of his advice, Angulimala became a nice person and he listened to his advice, and later on he became a monk and also he reached Arahantaship. And not only human, also animals. Nalagiri was an elephant, and there was a Brahma called Baka. There was a Naga from the Naga world, from Nandopananda. So many animals, deities, Brahmas, humans, he converted them to wonderful, knowledgeable, enlightened people from angry and dangerous social behaviors. So that's why we call Anuttara Purushottam Saga. Sattha Deva Manusan, next quality. He is the teacher for all the living beings, humans, deities, and Brahman. Those are the Sugati world, all the awful realms like hell, hungry ghosts, the world of hungry ghosts, and animal world and Asura's world. These particular four awful realms, they cannot really practice Dhamma, develop their mind, and reach Nibbana. They cannot do that. The only world they can practice is human world, deities world, and Brahma's realm. So then the Sugata Loka, Sugata Sattha Devamanusana means he is a teacher for the humans, deities, and Brahma. All these deities, humans, and Brahma get instructions from Buddha, and also they develop their mind to a very good level. I think we know in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta only, when he delivered the first Dhamma talk, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, how many humans enlightened with that talk? How many humans receive some benefits from that? Only one human, that is Kondanya Arahant. How many deities? 84,000. 84,000 deities attaining to Sotapanna, the first attainment by listening to that talk. So then he teach many humans, deities, and Brahmas. Many. So then that's why we call him Sattha Devamanusana. And then Buddha, he is the one who taught Four Noble Truths to the world. He is the one who delivered the message throughout the world. He is the one who explained about this Four Noble Truths to everyone in the world. So then we call Buddha. Bhagava means he was fortunate to hold all these qualities, to receive all these qualities, to receive all this knowledge, and to develop his character up to Buddha. So they call Bhagava. Just explain those. Actually, this explanation is really a minor explanation because this is nothing concerning to the original explanation. You have to read because this discussion I would like to introduce more about meditation and the practical approach of Buddhism, not the theoretical part and the faith. So this part I just explained. The first of all, if you want to know about Buddhism, first of all, if you want to develop something about Buddhism, you have to know who explained this particular concepts and phenomena and philosophy, and how this particular Buddhism remained for a long time, and who practiced that. It's a very important question. So who find out the concept? Actually, no one. This is a universal truth. Buddha is not the only one who developed this path. There were many Buddhas previously. Kakusanga, Konagama, Kashapa, and Gautama in this kalpa, this particular kalpa, this time period. And previously there were many, many Buddhas. So all these Lord Buddhas, they find out the universal truth of getting rid from suffering and getting rid from samsara. So this is a universal truth. Only thing the human being really cannot understand that when you give up, then you can get what you want. If you want to reach Nibbana, the only thing you have to do is give up. But not just physical giving up. You have to give up the world, you have to give up your sensations, you have to give up your desires internally with the practice, with the proper mind. That's called Nibbana. When you reach Nibbana, which means you have no attachment, no desire. That's the most important part. And the next one, because of that, we need to know who explain all these things, who deliver all these things to the world, who is the leader of all these teachings. Then we learn about Buddha and his qualities. So as I explained before, you can't really understand about Buddha without learning of his qualities. By looking at his picture, or by listening to uh, the things that he had done, you can't really recognize. You have to know the qualities of Buddha. So you have to read about that. So that's your homework, right? Try to read about Buddha. How the Dhamma, how the concept remain for a long time. That's what we call Dhamma. Some of the people, they recognize books and you call Dhamma. Or by using books, or by using any other method, anyway. The Dhamma means the concept, the bunch of concepts and all the teachings that Buddha taught us. And who follow the path, Sangha. Sangha means not only the monks, anyone who follow the path. According to the Sangha's explanation of, definition of Sangha's stanza, Supatipanno Bhagavato, explained about 8 people. The Chattara Purasa, Atta Purasa Puggala, Chattara Purasa Yugana, which means there are 8 people and 4 couples. The person who attained into the path of first attainment and the person who received the first attainment. The person who attained into the path of second attainment and the person who received the second attainment. The person who attained to the path of third attainment and the person who received the third attainment. The person who received the path of Arahanthood and the person who became Arahant. So there are 8. So then they never explain about a monk or a priest or any other leader. No, Sangha means the person who practiced the path, person who practically approached into the path, person who practically developed the path. This is Sangha. So now, when we develop the path, we are also part of Sangha. But you have to protect right precept, you have to develop the path, you have to meditate, you have to control yourself, you have to control your anger, you have to control your desire, you have to control your ego. But this is not just a controlling by, just like you just control, suppress and control. No. In Buddhism, we control by understanding, not by suppressing. Control by suppressing is wrong and less effective, and later on you can get the backfire, can be very dangerous. So once you understand the concept, and then you give up, and then if you don't have any desire or any attachment, delusion, or anger, then that is the proper way to give up things and to understand it. So now there are 3 refugees: Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. The person who introduced the Dhamma, noble person, that is our Lord Buddha, and the concepts, the teaching, Dhamma, the people who follow the path, Sangha. So if you can at least believe in these 3 with reasons, not without reasons, with reasons, then we can consider ourselves as Buddhists. Then we have another second step is protecting 5 precepts, which is avoiding like Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapada Samadhi. You promise not to kill any living being. It's actually Sikkhapada Samadhyami. It's something like promise. From here onwards, from now on, I won't kill any animal being. So it's more like a promise to yourself until I reach Nibbana. Just because I'm going to develop my mind, I will get rid from all the desires. So for that, the first step, I will not kill any living being. First one. And I will not steal anything from anyone which is not given. I will not go for any wrong livelihood, like sexual misbehaviors. And then I will not practice lie. I will not lie to anyone. I will only speak truth. And I will not go for any intoxication or any alcohol, because that particular thing can affect on our awareness. I'll explain why he explained this. Why Buddha explain about this fire? Now, first of all, he say, okay, explain. You have to know about the person who explained Dhamma, is our Lord Buddha, and the concept, teaching, and the people who practice Dhamma. But why he explained about the five precepts? Why the five precepts is more important? Why the principles are more important? Because the five precepts explain, it helps you to develop your mind. This is actually kind of a meditation. This kind of a developmentation of your mind, because number one, Panatipata Vedamani Sikkhapada Samadhan. When you promise yourself not to kill anyone, in the same time, there's the other side of the coin. What is that? You start practicing compassion toward other people. You start practicing loving kindness to other animals, other living beings. This should be the reaction together with that. So first, you promise not to kill anyone, and you will not harm anyone. At the same time, you will send a lot of compassion, a lot of loving kindness. You will show a lot of loving kindness, compassion to other people in the world. So then you develop a lot of compassion in your mind. When you have a lot of compassion, you have less and less and less stress, less and less pressure, and you are more happy. The next one, when you develop when you practice second precept, second one is not to kill not to steal anything from anyone which is not given. This is to restrain from greediness, lobha. If you steal something from someone, which means you're greedy, you want to have that. If you don't have enough money to buy, just steal from someone. But when you understand, oh, this is a bad thing. So what is the opposite? You stop being greedy. You start being simple. Whatever you can afford, you just buy. Whatever you can do, you can do. And you stop being greedy. Just recognize about the limitations that you have and practice them. Very easy. Then the second part. When you practice that, if you become a simple, if you don't have huge greediness internally, then it's very easy for you to maintain a simple life. I'm 100% sure you won't have much stress if you don't have greediness. Most of the people, they develop stress because of greediness, you know. Many people say they're really stressed out because they're studying. Why you study? You can go to your country and start a cultivation and then do some farming and earn some money. Why you don't do that? Why you come here and study for PhD? Money, more reputation. This is it's good. I'm not saying that it's bad, but see, when you have more craving, and then you want to have good results, you want to show yourself other people. Oh, yeah, I have done that nicely, and you want to show yourself in a high way. Then you have to work hard for that. Then you develop stress. Previously, the word stress actually in Girimananda Sutta, you know, in Buddhism, we explain about a lot of sicknesses. If you read Girimananda Sutra about diabetic, cancers, low blood pressure, everything is there. All these kind of physical issues are there. First, main sicknesses are there. But in Buddhism, they never explain about stress or restlessness or all these things. Why? They never experienced that. They were super simple at that time. They did not expand their abilities, or they did not push themselves over the limit. Now we explain, now we talk about something to push yourself over the limit, to gain the best. But we destroy ourselves by doing that because we lose our simplicity that we have. Previously, there were some genius people who could do few things without stress because that was their life. And then what happened? We read their life story, we start being like Einstein. We can't really do that because we are not them. So if you really can, but there can be some Einstein in this audience, it's okay, then we can practice it. But if the thing gives you a lot of pressure, which means that you're doing that without interest, you're doing that without happiness. If you do that with happiness, then you can't have. Can you sit in front of a computer for 10 hours continuously?
Yes.
With video games. Why? Because when you play, when you do a work, when you do something like when you write something, when you do some action, when you work in the office, 10 hours, Yeah, it's very easy. You can play video game for 24 hours. I know some people, they watch TV series for 24 hours. Actually, TV series is for 24 weeks. Like these TV series, they publish for 24 weeks. Every week, one series. Maybe every day, one series. And our genius can watch this 24-hour series in one day. So then, no stress at all. But if you work for 24 hours a day, stress. Then it's not about working. It's not about looking at a computer. It's not about using your brain. It's about how happy you are. So that's why we come back to the old way of managing our brain. Earlier stage, they were really advanced. Actually, they find out the human brain. More you rest, more you calm down yourself, more you can develop. Nowadays, we think more you do the exercise, more you work with the brain, you can do many things. No. More you rest, you can get more. That's why we introduce meditation. And when you practice meditation, you rest your brain. When you practice meditation, you rest your mind. When you practice meditation, you calm down yourself. Then the productivity becomes more and more higher. And then you can go for the best decision when you have calm mind. And you can look at the things very clearly and nicely in the world. That's why we are explaining. That's why we are trying so hard for people to understand, people to follow the path and develop the path and control your mind and develop your mind, and then you can really help other people a lot. Then the stress, all these kind of restlessness, stress, anger, they will never affect on your mind or brain or anywhere, nothing, because your mind is simple. So then, as we explained before, now I was in the second precept. So, according to Lord Buddha's explanation, third one, if you practice, rather than practicing sexual misbehaviors like misconducts, it's better you totally change yourself. Otherwise, other way around, you practice repulsiveness, the meditation of repulsiveness, or meditation of giving up, or you practice the conditions to have less desire in your mind and more calm and subtle and nice and settled mind. The opposite side of being a normal, ordinary person. And without lying, the third one, fourth one is lying. You get rid from lying, you restrain from lying, and you practice the other way, truth. The ultimate truth in the world, what is it? Four Noble Truths. When you speak about ultimate truth to the people, you start understanding about the concept that Buddha explains. And then the final one. First one also we can say, first precept we can say, okay, this one is harmful because other people are get affected by that. Second one also, other people can be affected by that. Third precept also, other people can be affected by that. Fourth precept also, yeah, when you lie, maybe people can develop some bad idea about you and they will really be angry about you sometimes. The fourth one, fifth one, intoxication. Drinking alcohol, how this particular thing affect on you? Because you're not hurting anyone by doing that. And how? Because the most important thing for each and every step in Buddhism is mindfulness. If you drink alcohol, if you really don't have enough awareness, then you can't really follow the path. If you keep on continuing that, you cannot really develop that. So more you're away from awareness, more you're away from success in Buddhism. So it's about you. There are many side effects like effect on your family and other people and relationships and friends, but it's more effective on you. So in Buddhism, we mostly focus on your own developmentation. When you develop yourself, then you develop the society because you are a member of society. You are a unit of the society. So if you can fix yourself rather than fixing the society, then you are successful. You are successful meditator, and you are successful citizen actually. So the next one. Now we know five precepts, briefly explain about five precepts and for three refugees. Now we explain about the first one, dealing with emotions. When you live in the normal society, normal world, emotion is actually normal to human beings. No? So sometimes this particular emotion we can use to do something productive. As an example, many artists, many songwriters, many painters, many wonderful artists in this world, they use their emotions to create a new, something creative to the world. So straight away we can't say the emotions are bad, but the emotional issues can be bad. Whenever you have emotion, why you feel suffering because of, why you feel that emotion is disturbing you, there's a reason why you feel that. Because you don't have enough awareness to see how it happens. Because you really cannot control what's happening inside. When the emotion comes out, you don't know where the emotion is coming from. You know how it starts. What are the reasons? What are the causes of this? You don't know. Just arise in your mind, just because of a reason. So if you're aware about the number one, there's a way to get rid from the emotion. If you're aware about the emotions, then number one, you can really think, okay, this is the reason of my emotions. Now I am really emotional about this and this and this, and this is the reason for my emotional background. Can you do that without awareness? Very difficult. If you have very strong concentration, it's very easy for you to do that. There are few concentration levels in Buddhism called first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. So if you really develop jhana up to that level, it's very, very easy for you to control your emotions. The emotion will never affect on you actually. So the second one, and as I explained the first one, if you have enough awareness, if you're aware about the things that you do, if you're aware about the things that you practice, if you're aware about your day actually, that's why in Buddhism we explain you to be aware about your day. This is very easy. We call it sati, practicing the sati. What you should do, just focus on aware. Just focus on your body, or just focus on something happening around you. Just try to maintain a sati. Just try to maintain awareness in your body. Sati is the Pali word for awareness. Awareness is the English word, but sati is, I like to use the word sati, not better than awareness. It means you're paying attention to some part in your body or some concept in your body or something like that. It comes with satipatthana, four mindfulness, techniques of four mindfulness. Mindful about your body, or mindful about your sensation, or mindful about your mind, or mindful about your mindful about the phenomena that are going around you, happening around you. So this first one, being mindful about your body. It's a very easy thing to do. From the morning to the evening. You can just practice mindfulness for a long time. You can just practice mindfulness for a long time. This will be really difficult in the beginning because you're not used to that. You feel like you're disturbing yourself. You might feel a little bit more stress. But when you're used to that, you develop that, you will feel more calm and quiet and nice, and you will really enjoy less emotions. Because when you have awareness, strong awareness in your body, in your mind, this awareness really can block the unwholesome thoughts. Awareness really can develop wholesome thoughts in your mind. So if you really develop wholesome thoughts all the time, will you be affected by emotions or not? You will never, because you develop wholesomeness all the time. Your mind is fresh all the time because you're aware about the mind. More you are aware about the mind, your mind becomes more and more fresh. More you are not aware about the mind, you start suffering about the things in the past. You start investigating about the things in the past. You start discussing about the things in the past. You start gossiping about the things that happened in the past. Then what happened? You slowly develop a lot of unnecessary, unwholesome thoughts. Those unnecessary, unwholesome thoughts gives you emotion. Think about all the emotions that you have. It's because because you think about something in the past, or maybe you are worried about the future, or maybe you have some issue internally that cannot control, that cannot understand. So each and everything is related to mindfulness. If you're mindful enough, you can easily see where this emotion is coming from, how it happens. And if you're really mindful for a long time, the mindful mind can never develop the emotional stage because he's mindful all the time about the things happening to him, and he really can develop more wholesomeness than unwholesomeness. He can really cut down the unwholesomeness and develop a wholesome mind. So it's very easy. So we have to practice that. This is not easy, this is difficult, but we have to practice. The path is not easy. Results are easy. Imagine that you want to practice yoga. Is it easy to practice yoga? Imagine that if you want to practice like exercise, some kind of jogging or exercising or something like that. Is it easy? No, you have to work hard for that. You can't do that within 1 day or 2 days. You can't really bend your arms and legs like the professionals do. You have to practice for that long time. You have to train your body slowly. In the same way, we are talking about the techniques to control our mind. So when you control your mind, the word control, I actually don't like to use the mind. I would like to say the sharpen your mind, not the controlling. In Buddhism, we don't control anything. We sharpen ourselves. So if you control, you just suppress. Feel like you're suppressing things. No, we don't suppress anything. We develop good qualities inside of us. When you develop good qualities, there's no space for bad qualities. There's no space for bad things. Now, how to develop good qualities? Number one is mindfulness. When you're mindful enough, then you have a lot of background to, then you have feel to think, target, and destroy the unwholesome thoughts that arise in your mind. It's very easy. It's very easy when you listen, but a little bit difficult when you practice it because you're not used. Then, in Buddhism, each and every part, this particular Dhamma talk is just an introduction. This talk really cannot help you to practice your life up to that level. This talk is just instruction, it's just a pep talk. But really, the real practice you should practice slowly, step by step, with proper guidance. You need a proper guide. There can be a monk, can be a book, can be a noble friend, anything. You need a proper guidance for that. Because the first step of mindfulness is watching the body movement. As an example, okay, we can talk about the first step. First step of mindfulness is watching body steps, the features of the body, like the positions and all these things. But by doing that, if you start doing that for like years, you can't get any benefit. You're just stuck in the same place. The first exercise you learn from monk or from a book or someone, and after learning, you slowly develop to the next level. What is the next level? You start uh, focusing on one place for a long time and hold your mind there and try to control your mind. And the next step, you try to bring a wholesome thought into your mind and try to repeat that again and again. And then you try to concentrate more and more deeply and try to balance yourself in meditation. Like that, there are a few steps. So the first step, when you practice the first step, you have a lot of questions. Oh, Bhante, I really cannot practice that. When I focus about my body, immediately my awareness change. It goes to here and there, what to do. Then we have to find out a new solution. Then, okay, then focus about this part. And then, I practice that, it's not working, like this and this and this, and we have to give a new solution. So it's more like interview-based teaching. You have to learn that step by step, slowly. And this takes time. Sometimes, I think nowadays some of our friends they're practicing meditation very well, but previously they had a lot of struggles. Nowadays, some of the friends they have stable idea. Okay, I'll practice this path. Now this is my path. I will for a few years I will try this path. But before that, they had a lot of struggles. They had to struggle with the meditation for a long time. Even Dinu also talked to me about that. He talked about his meditation and his practice. That he struggled a lot in the beginning, and he really couldn't understand some things, and he want to practice, but he don't have enough time. But later on, he get the chance to uh, stay in one technique and try and practice. It's very difficult. So then you have to practice meditation for a while with proper instruction, with proper guidance, and then try whether this is working or not. If it is not working, you have to change, of course, because each and every person is unique. We have totally different techniques and time from each other to practice and styles. So then, if you use a technique which is not suitable to you, also you can't practice. So this takes some time. It's not really easy way. First you have to try one technique, then try it for a month or 2 or 3 or few months or 1 year, and then slowly you realize, okay, this is not working for me, and then try another one. And then slowly you realize, this is not working for you, and I try one. What happened? Each and every time when you develop meditation, when you try, you develop wholesome karma, you develop wholesome deeds in your mind. So each and every step brings you closer to Nibbana, brings you closer to awareness, brings you closer to high level of mindfulness, high level of meritorious deeds, wholesome karma. So the wholesomeness in your mind develops because you work for Nibbana. Even the meditation is unsuccessful, you're trying. You're trying to do something good, which means your mind develop more and more wholesome thoughts. So then the meditation really can help you. And for this emotional issue and the stress issue, I really talk about this before with a few university students in a few countries. So practically we saw this is working. Number one is meditation. And then the people who really develop had this emotional issue. I personally asked them to do that, but some people may not believe in this because some of them, like Buddhists, in our culture, we believe that by offering things, we wish many things by offering things. No? We believe in that. It's our belief. But we can just develop the concept a little bit more. You offer and you enjoy that offering. You don't wish. So normally the understanding we had before is we offer something, like we offer some food, we offer some money, or we offer something to Lord Buddha or to Sangha or to someone or to poor people, and then you wish for something. Or by the power of this particular meritorious deed, please, dear, help me to finish my PhD quickly. Huh? Not like that. We just focus on meditation, or we just focus on our development, we just enjoy that wholesome karma with the mind of getting rid from all the desire. Oh, this particular I have done something so nice, wonderful. I offer something to this person, and he will be really happy with that. So you can be happy about the action that you practice. Or maybe if you're believing in path, if you're really practicing the path, you can wish, may this meritorious action helps me to develop my path. You just share the meritorious deeds with them. So then, I practically saw the people who develop emotional issues, who engage with this kind of work, like offering, practicing generosity, practicing the social works, helping other people, can really sort out the problem. Practically, I have experience with my students before. I practically advise them, start offer something to someone, start giving something to someone, start helping other people, start being nice to other people, then the emotional problem will disappear totally. And also, more you start helping other people, more you become strong. When you start helping people, you will develop huge confidence internally to face to other people, to face into difficult situations. This is practically something that I experienced and practically something that the people report to me. But after practicing the generosity, after practicing this kind of giving up, after practicing the helping hand, I developed huge confidence internally. And I feel so happy now. And I really uh, feel happy and less stress and less emotions there. Because this is not something supernatural. Number one, when you practice that, your mind develops a lot of happy thoughts. Go on. Number two, when you develop that kind of happiness, that kind of quality, you develop a lot of good karma, wholesome karma. So karma also supports you. If you have a huge mental or physical issue for a long time, if it is not really related to something that you do at the moment, this can be a karma. If it is a karma, by doing good karma, you can change the karma. Because karma is not the everything, you can change our karma. Karma is something that we earn from past lives. Karma is not everything in our life, so we can change karma by doing that. So then karma, we can change. It's very easy. So by practicing this kind of generosity, practicing this kind of wholesome activity, you can change. And some people, they find out chanting parita with the knowledge or without understanding. But if you really know the meaning of parita, much, much better. This works really. But some people, like in other Buddhist schools, in Tibetan schools and in Mahayana school, they have, like Tibetan school, they have mantra. In the same way, in Buddhism, Theravada, we have parita chanting. So in the parita chanting, we use this parita chanting as blessing chanting. You can bless people with that. Actually, there is a concept behind that. The concept is when you chant, the person who listens really change his mind because the chanting is nice. If you know the meaning, you are listening to Dhamma. So you can transform the person's memory, the person's mind. And your mind also being transformed because you're practicing the chanting, you're doing something well, and you're practicing something, you're thinking about Dhamma, thinking about the qualities of Dhamma. So you're practicing something. So it's very clear. When you practice that, easily you can develop. Chanting is very easy and very effective. And up to now, I think there is a Japanese scientist who proved by using chanting you can even check the molecular structure of the water. It changed by using he tried the chanting. I'm not really know about this particular article. I saw the article. I did not read it well. You can look at the internet and see that. So, but just the experiment level, but it's okay. But in Buddhism, we use chanting. Actually, the chanting, according to the Vimukta Ayatana Sutta, chanting is a pathway to Nibbana. Chanting with understanding, chanting with knowing the meaning, can gives you knowledge, can calm your mind down totally. That's how it develops. And then the people who have emotional issues, the next one is they can release. Like now, number one we start. We say we can practice meditation. Number three, we explain about we can practice generosity. Number three, we can explain about we can chant. And there's the one you can listen to Dhamma talks, and we can discuss about such discussions. So those who practice discussions, discussions you can. This one you have to be very careful because you should arrange a small group of your close friends, and then this particular group, especially to talk about your personal issues, personal emotional issues, not about anything else. And only you use Dhamma and the Buddhist teachings to sort out the matters. So then you can maybe get advice from someone who have knowledge about Buddhism, who have knowledge about meditation, and then you talk about your problem, and the other person introduces a solution to you, and then you try that, and the next week you say, no, I try you one, it's not working. Like that you start discussion, and you bring a small amount of Dhamma matter. Every day you read something, and you come and share with your friends. So then everyone can share a small amount of Dhamma, but you talk about your personal emotional issues there by talking to other people and by getting advice about emotional issues with Dhamma can sort out the problem. These four techniques actually practically have proved that and have personal experience. I know many people who really get rid from emotional issues by practicing Buddhism and by practicing these kind of techniques. These are easy to explain, but difficult to practice and maintain. If you manage to practice and maintain, then you can get the benefits very easily. These are very easy steps to develop practice, but very difficult to start and maintain. Okay. So the next one is stress. As I explained before, people who practice less, uh, like people who practice simple life. If your life is simple, if you develop simplicity, then you won't have much stress. Stress comes with complications. If you don't have complications, if you don't have huge problems in you, if your workload is not so high, then you won't have any stress because of that. No, now what to do? Now we can't stop studying and start a simple farming life. Now we are here. It's okay. We have to find out a solution. Now from here on, how to develop our mind without stress. Okay. Now, as I explained before, our mind is not ready to follow the pattern. It's not ready to follow the workload. That's why we have stress. So how do we retreat from that? You have to develop the memory capacity. You have to develop the mind capacity. You have to develop your mind up to a level that can really afford that stress. That can really can manage that stress. It's possible. It's not difficult. When you practice that, it's very easy for you to develop your mind. Actually, the most important and the most easiest way is meditation. Those who practice meditation, when you develop meditation, you will practically experience that your stress level is lesser than before. And also, metta meditation is very effective in that because stress comes with anger. You can easily see that when you are stressed out, you're angry with everyone, especially with your supervisor. So, when you're stressed out, anger arises. When the anger is there, you can't really do anything. So that's why stress is always related with anger. Whenever you have stress, mostly you get really angry. So that's why I like to introduce metta meditation, loving kindness meditation towards people who are around you. I think I already introduced Dinuka before, no? If you want to have a good relationship with someone who works together with you, you should practice metta meditation. So first of all, you have to practice metta with supervisor. Then easily you can win his mind and he will not give you much stress. So first thing we can practice. Being friendly and happy with the people around you will they will help you then. If you develop a friendly and happy atmosphere around your among your colleagues and the people who are above you and people who work together with you, then they will really give less pressure towards you because they also have that happy feeling towards you. When you develop metta is really effective. The loving kindness is really effective. No matter what the other people, no matter how they blame you, no matter how they scold at you, no matter how they pressure you, just smile and show happy face all the time. Then they can't really. There's a limit of humans that in annoying people also. There's a good part in their annoyingness. So they're not really annoying for all the for them. They are up to the end. They have a little bit of humanitarian qualities in their mind. So they're humans. When you start showing the smile face, when you start showing the happy face, when you start showing that you are okay with that, whatever they do, it's okay. Whatever your friends say, it's okay. Just smile and show your happy face. After some time, they'll say, "Oh, what happened? I'm giving a huge pressure to this person. He's okay. He's happy. Oh, I should help him. I should. He's pretty. He's a nice person. I should help. You feel like that. If you have someone in your classroom always smile and happy and nice to you, do you feel like putting some pressure on him or you feel like helping him? Of course, you feel like it. So that's what we do. You develop metta meditation. When you develop metta, you have a lot of compassion in your mind. You have a lot of love in your mind. You have a lot of compassion. You have a lot of kindness in your mind. So loving kindness, metta. So when you have loving kindness, you won't feel like getting angry with anyone. You won't feel like you won't feel like fighting for things. You will feel, oh, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Wonderful. Whatever happened, I'm okay. I'm not getting angry. It's okay. I can manage that. I can balance myself. When you start thinking like that, you will feel really relaxed. When I say that, also I can see the relax in your face now. So you will feel the relaxation. You will feel like, wow, happy, wonderful now. Then the other people can really feel this is not something ordinary. I have seen that myself, the people who practice metta, when they are in the presence, when they are in my audience, when they are in our class, in our monasteries, when we work together, I feel that. We feel that not only me, all of we can feel the people who have a lot of compassion. All of us, and even the animals can feel that. Those who have compassion, those who have loving kindness, they like it. Each and every one of them like those people. So practice loving kindness. This is very effective. So as I explain all the time, the solutions in Buddhism, meditation is very simple. The simple solution can make a huge difference. You can't really see them. Without practicing, without developing, without achieving that kind of mental ability, you can't really see that. If you want to see that, you have to practice that. When you practice, you be happy, you control your mind, you develop your mind, and you develop love and compassion, then later on you'll find out, according to Metta Sutta, I think explained about before, I think I explained this sutta before, some of you I think were there in the Dhamma talk. There were 11 benefits of loving kindness. Loving kindness is one of the best meditations for students, especially who are angry with other people. Because students are sometimes they have to deal with a lot of difficult situations, so they get angry easily. So number one, metta meditation, sukham sukhati. You can sleep well. Number one. I think that one you don't need to practice metta meditation. You can sleep well, of course, when you eat. Then sukham patipunjati. This is difficult. You can't really wake up early in the morning happy. Sukhang Patipunjati means you wake up early in the morning with happy mood, right? Wow, it's the morning, I should wake up today. Now let's go to work. Today is a study day, I should go and study. No one wake up like that. Of course, you wake up, I know how you wake up. I don't want to discuss that in a public Dhamma talk. But the feelings you have in the morning when you wake up, oh, this is a really, again, the day starts, oh, it's morning, it's cool, I should have to wake up. Why they arrange all this? Why this life is so suffering? And then, Sukham Pativriti, people who practice metta meditation won't have this. When they sleep nicely. And then early in the morning when they wake up like a fresh flower. You can experience that practically if you practice metta meditation to a good level. Not for the beginners, but if you practice for some time, you develop your mind up to some level, then you can practice. You can see yourself. When you wake up in the morning, you don't have that tiredness, you don't have that frustration, you don't have that laziness anymore. You're fresh and happy and nicely you can wake up. And Sukham Pati Punjati, Napapakam Supinam Pasati. You won't see any bad dreams. It's always also related to Sukham Supati, which means you can sleep nicely, which means also you don't have any bad dreams. Just sleep is like one shot. Napapakam Supinam Pasati. Manussanam Piyo Hoti. Buddha explains that once you practice meditation, metta, Manussanam Piyo Hoti, you will be pleasant to attract by other human beings. You will be pleasant to other humans. You will be attracted by other human beings. So other human beings will start liking you. Manussanam Piyo. Amanussanam Piyo Hoti. Even the non-human beings, animals and the other spirits, hungry ghosts, deities, they will start liking you. Pure Hoti. They start liking you. Devata Rakhanti. The deities will protect you. Guardian deities will protect you. Nas Agiva Visangma Sattangma Kamati. You cannot be harmed by fire or poison or weapons, any kind of thing. So how it happens? First one, second one, third one, okay, no? Sukham Supati, Sukham Patipunjati, Nabhapanam Satanam Pasati, Manusanam Piyoti, Amanusanam Piyoti, Devata. These things are clear. You can sleep well, wake up well, and no bad dreams, and you will be liked by humans, you will be liked by non-humans, and Devata Rakha, you will be protected by deities. Okay. How this? The next one. Nasa Agiva Visangma Sattangma Kamati. By fire, or by poison, or by weapons, no one can harm you. Is it like that when you practice, don't try it at home, don't practice metta meditation and ask your friend to shoot you. You will definitely die. Because it's not magical like the bullet stops here and drops. It's not like that. When you practice metta, you won't have any enemies to kill. You won't have any enemies to harm you by fire. You won't have any enemies to harm you by weapons. You won't have any enemies to harm you by poisons. Because everyone likes it. No one wants to harm you. And also, if there is someone, or if it is natural disaster, the situation will change. Like as an example, the people who practice metta meditation, they have that internal mental conditions that develop. So early in the morning when they're about to get into the car, maybe something will happen and the ride will delay for a few minutes. And when you go there, something is wrong. Something happens already. I think some of you experience this kind of things. You uh, you can save your life just because of 5 minute delay. Maybe you save your life just because you leave your house 5 minutes early. So this situation can change, and this thing can give you by karma. This is a karmic effect by meditation. People who practice metta was like that. And also previously I explained that deities will protect you. Are protected by deities. So they can protect you. This can happen like that. And nasa abhya visangva sattangva kamati tuvatang chittang samadhi. Your mind will softly and nicely you can develop concentration with metta. When you practice metta meditation, your concentration will be very high. So now for the students, you need a lot of concentration for your studies. So those who practice meditation for high level or good level, they can really develop a huge concentration. They can use that concentration for studies. And people who have huge concentration won't experience stress. There will be no stress for the people who have good concentration. You have stress because you don't have concentration. That's why your mind is stressed out. People who have good concentration, they won't have any stress. This is very important part. Mukhavanno vipasidati. Your mind, your face and body become beautiful. So practice meditation. You don't have to go to beauty salons or beauty parlors. You don't have to do anything. No creams, no makeup. Just become very beautiful. But unfortunately, by using metta meditation, you can't change the skin tone. You can't change the skin color. You can't change the shape of your body. But they explain, you become pleasant to other people. You become more attractive. That's right. Mukhavanno vipassana. Your face become more clear and happy. Like, imagine that if you are a person who practices metta meditation, and you practice that, your mind and your body and the energy around you become more beautiful. So people start liking you. And then you also happy all the time. When you are happy, even your bloodstream also become more pure. You happy people, they look happy and pleasant all the time. So they are beautiful. So inner beauty is unique. So you can't call talking about inner beauty here. So internally they are beautiful. And the people who see you, they don't look at the gray hair in your body, in your head. They don't look at the scars in your face. They don't look at any other thing. Just look at the person and his characteristics. Be very pleasant. Number one. Next one. Asammulo kalam karoti. You won't die without awareness. At the last moment of your death, you'll be well aware about the death, and you can really focus on Dhamma matter, and you can easily plan your next life. Most of the people in the last moment, you will really hesitate, you will have a lot of pain, you don't know why. You will not think this is your last moment every time. Like as an example, if you imagine you fall down from a building, and then you are now about to die. You feel like, okay, I'm dying now. Will you think like that, I'm going to die now or the next moment? Next second is mine. Next second is the second that I'm going to die. Every second you will think like that. Until you die, you will think, next second is the second that I'm going to die. Next second is the second that I'm going to die. It's a delusion. You won't think that now I'm going to die. Because of that, you will develop a lot of hesitation, you will have a lot of suffering. You want to live one more minute, one more second, one more hour. I know one person who, I did not know the person personally, but the person who went for euthanasia, she was suffering with cancer, and she asked me to chant her parita before she go for the decision. So we went to the hospital and chant parita for 30 minutes or something. Talk with her for around 1 hour, and she was happy. And she then at that time only she informed me, Bhante, after all these things, she said, Bhante, I'm going to go for euthanasia because I'm experiencing a lot of pain and I cannot really live. I want to die. I say it's not a good idea. I don't really advise people to go for that. It's really not so good. You don't need to die. Just try all the alternative options and just take painkillers. Just live as long as you wish. You can read some Dhamma, listen some Dhamma, do something. Don't go for that. Don't die. Don't waste your life because you ask. Maybe miraculously you can change. But anyway, she decided to go for euthanasia. And then I got the information later. The person who stayed next to her, after the injection, the doctor said, okay, within 5 minutes, it will happen like this. She was struggling at the last moment to die. Because she believed, next moment is the moment that I'm going to die. No one want to die. They always believe, next moment is, I'm going to live 1 more minute. 1 more minute I will live. So they say that even if she's willing to get the injection, she was suffering, she was fighting in the last moment to the death. This has happened to us also. Even if a natural death. In that time, many people will hesitate. Luckily, she did not. Many people will hesitate. They will feel a lot of fear. You have a lot of pain. So you don't know really how to maintain your mind with the wholesomeness. Then after your death, you will reborn in the bad place. Because if you die with unwholesome mind, what happened to you? You will not really experience good. You will not really go to a good life next life. The next one, when you develop metta meditation, in the next case, the person who may develop metta meditation have more calmness, more concentration, more awareness. He's aware about what is happening. So death is just one moment for him because all the processes continue in the next life in the same way. He knows that very clearly. So he have enough calm and serene environment, atmosphere to calm down himself. This is how. So now we explain about last one. Tuatang chittang samadhi asammula vihatno kalam karoti uttaring appati vijjanto brahmaloku upagopoti. If you do not attain into any attainment in this level, in this life, like arahantaship, you will definitely reborn in the Brahma's realm. That is, those are the benefits of metta meditation. So why you practice metta meditation? Because I personally believe metta meditation can really solve your emotional issues. Because metta meditation is really beneficial for the people who have emotional issues. So then we should practice metta meditation if you want to deal with emotional issues. Okay? In Karaniyamita Sutta, we explain Appakicho Chasallaho Kavutti. Appakicha means the person who have less words. So the Karaniya Dhamma, we need to develop. If you develop Karaniya Dhamma, there are Karaniya Dhamma in Karaniyamita Sutta. There are qualities of Karaniya. Appakicha means less work. The person who wants to attain Nibbana have to maintain a life with less work. So then we can see it's very difficult to maintain a busy life and develop Dhamma in the same time. No? So then, Appakicha, which means less work less, is difficult for you in the present day. You have to work. So then what to do? Then you have to manage your time properly because people who do not work, just only practice meditation, they can really focus on the path and practice and develop meditation quickly, with short time, within few years. So because why? They have a lot of space, time, and atmosphere to develop meditation. Their mind is calm. But the people who are busy and spend a stressful life, they don't have that opportunity. So then, can they develop meditation or not? Can they attain Nibbana or not? Of course can. Because the people who are willing to attain into Buddhahood or Arahantaship or like higher attainment or have practiced so hard, but the people who want to practice meditation for maybe Sotapanna, maybe just to be happy and develop wholesome deeds, of course can. During Buddha's time, there were many Buddhist devotees who spent ordinary life, who did business, who did many other normal ordinary works, but also they attained Nibbana, also they developed Dhamma, also they attained some attainment. There were many. Not all of them were free people. So then, which means at the moment also we have that opportunity. Of course, can. How to develop life with how to develop a meditation life or a Dhamma life, practice life with busyness that you have. Okay, you have to manage the time. You have to write down the time that you manage to meditate every day. Every day, early in the morning when you wake up, 5 minutes. Start with that. This is the starting point of meditation. 5 minutes in the morning when you wake up. 5 minutes in the evening, in the night, before you sleep. This is your starting point. And then see and enjoy that meditation for a while. Maybe 5 minutes after that, chanting. 5 minutes before you sleep, chanting. Like you wake up early in the morning, you chant for 5 minutes, meditate for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then the night time, before you sleep, you chant for 5 minutes, meditate for 5 minutes, and then you go to sleep. And when you go to bed, until you fall asleep, you practice meditation. You can easily do that. If you sleep the laptop next to your bed, next to your pillow, you can't do that. Because many people, they bring the mobile phone and the laptop to the bed, and they watch all the things in the lap in the last moment and they wait until they fall into sleep, and then they watch those things and they fall into sleep. I can see when I look at your eyes and faces, I can easily see that those who are the people who bring laptops to their beds and sleep. So see, Remove the laptop from your bed. Keep it in the table. Remove your phone from your bed. Keep it in the table. When you go to the bed, chant 5 minutes. Meditate for 5 minutes. 10 minutes. This is the starting period. When you start enjoying that, you will personally start developing, personally start changing yourself to develop that particular condition up to 20 minutes. And then slowly you will develop up to 30 minutes. There are people who spend busy life early in the morning when they wake up, they chant for 10 minutes and they meditate for 40 minutes, sometimes 50 minutes. Like that. Chant for 10 minutes and meditate for 50 minutes and 1 hour session in the morning and go to work. There are people who practice like that. But you have to cut down that from television. You have to cut down that from gossips. You have to cut down that from Facebook times. You have to cut down that from other things that kills your time. And then if you can find out, practicing Dhamma life in a busy life is about managing your time, not about anything else. And about your interest and about your effort. So if you are interested in that so much, if you have a huge effort, this is nothing. Easily you can practice meditation because you have a lot of time every day. Like according to Satipatthana Sutta, there's a meditation called Sampajana meditation. So in Sampajana meditation, Buddha explains each and every moment in your body, in each and every time that you spend is a meditation. When you walk, you can be aware about the walking. You can pay your attention to your legs. Pay attention to the quality of Buddha, Dhamma, or Sangha. Pay attention to a meditation instruction of metta. Just walk with the meditation. When you sit in the bus and come to university in the morning, you can just practice meditation in the bus. You can open your eyes. It's okay. So just look somewhere below in the bus station, but in the bus somewhere, or maybe you can close your eyes and just practice meditation in the bus. When you have free time in the university, just meditate for 5 minutes. That's enough. Just meditate for 1 minute. That's enough. Try to use this thing as a normal day-to-day habit. If you make this as a normal day-to-day life, it's very easy for you to practice meditation. Meditation is not really a difficult thing. Only thing is very difficult for you to stick into the plan. That's the part. Meditation itself is not difficult. Difficult part is to stick into the plan because you don't have enough experience and interest about this. When you develop interest and experience, you won't be able to give up. You'll be really addicted to meditation because it will give you a lot of happiness and your mind will be so happy and you will be so happy all the time. That's how you meditate all the time. So that's why people who practice meditation, they're really crazy about it sometimes. They give up many things and go for meditation. And the people who spend busy life, I recommend them to go for time to time long period meditation, like retreats. You can find out a time of 4 days or 5 days, no? Sometimes you can arrange your work here and there. You can manage your time to get released from your work for 5 days. So now you have a Buddhist society. Now all of you discuss, okay, all of us will go to this particular monastery to meditate for 5 days or 3 days or 4 days. You just dedicate that time. So then in that time, you don't do anything else. You just remove your mobile phones and everything, no connections. For 3 days, totally you only meditate. And come back. So once a month, maybe you can do it. Maybe in one semester, you can do that one time. You can try that. So this is the way that you practice practical meditation. And also, as I explained before, discussion. It's very important for you to gather as long as possible. You have to practice that. You have to gather and discuss about the things that are happening to you. Go to Dhamma, not about gossips, not about any other things. You won't talk. When you gather in the Dhamma discussion, you won't talk about personal things. You won't talk about gossips. You won't talk about what is happening here and there. You only focus on Dhamma. You only focus on meditation. You only focus on something noble and spiritual and what can help you to be happy, how you can help others, like that. And then you gather there and you discuss about Dhamma, then you can practice that part. So if you can practice this for a long time, this is very easy and simple technique that you can develop meditation. Yeah. Arranging the environment is very important in your practice. As an example, like if you imagine that if you're all of your friends around you are fans of movies or sports or music, you won't really be able to develop Dhamma or anything, because you have a lot of friends around you who are interested about music and movie, and they always talk about all these things. Always talk about sport and music and movie and all, and gossips sometimes. Then what happens? Then the influence change. You need a good influence there. So then you need good background, good atmosphere. That's why we practice together with our friends, noble friends. In Buddhism, Venerable Ananda asked Lord Buddha, what is the I think, dear Lord Buddha, 50% of this path is depend on noble friends. Buddha said, no, that's wrong. Entire path, 100%, entire path depend on noble friends. So you need a lot of noble friends to follow the path. You need noble friends to develop the path. So when you have noble friends like that, then you can easily develop this path. So how to do that? That's why I explained before. You should associate with them like discussion media. You should discuss about these things with them. Then, then you can really develop a good atmosphere, good environment for that. So actually now you are building up. Right now, today you invite us, and now we are talking here. And previously you arrange Dhamma talks, and you're listening to them and practice. And like when you organize these things, you talk about Dhamma, you talk about meditation, you talk about organizing good things, you talk about wholesome karma. Then you build a good thing. So arranging the atmosphere is mostly you have to arrange your friends. You have to mostly arrange the people around you according to Dhamma. So whenever you gather, don't talk about any other things like gossips or any other things, news in the university, news in the country. No. Just focus on Dhamma. Just practice Dhamma and finish. Because you have limited time actually. You have small amount of time to do all these things. And the next one, explain, develop internal qualities. Like I explained before, when you develop good virtue, when you develop good if you have a belief in refugees, if you develop meditation, you can develop internal qualities. And beyond that, there are few more qualities, like compassion. Those who practice compassion is very important. It's a very important quality for a meditator to develop. And tolerance. It's a very important quality for a meditator to develop. You have to practice a lot of tolerance when you practice meditation, because if you get angry all the time, it's not easy for you to develop meditation. It's not easy for you to maintain happy and wonderful and balanced life. And if you have to focus on that. So then at the same time, we have to think about our internal qualities. It's like generosity is a good internal quality. So you have to think about generosity, how generous I am, how can I give up. And the craving, the amount of craving that you have to give up. You have to control your ego, you have to control your anger, you have to control your uh, delusion, desire. And then what happens? Slowly you will develop the good qualities and try to treat other people nicely. Sometimes Buddhist people, they practice meditation very well, but they don't know how to talk to other people. They talk to other people in a very bad way. It's not good because you're not developing good quality. You don't know how to treat them. You don't know how to respect them. You don't know how to. Then it's not actually, you're not really practicing the path if you're doing that. So you have to practice that qualities again and again, again and again, again and again until you reach Nibbana. You should not give up meditation in the tough time. We need meditation for tough time. We are practicing meditation right now because when we have tough time, we can face. So that's why that is the benefit of meditation. Mostly people, they start practicing Buddhism because they have tough time. When they have tough life, when they have tough situations in their life, then they start worrying about them and they start practicing Buddhism. Sometimes they're too late. When you are fresh, when you have fresh mind, when you have strong mind, then the time that you can develop, then you should develop. Then you should come to meditation center or anywhere or practice Dhamma and meditation. Then you can develop and be strong. When you are developed, when the time comes, you can easily practice meditation and develop. And then when you are strong enough as a student before, like as a normal work for anyone. If you are strong and happy mind person can develop meditation easily. If you have developed mind, then you can easily develop that meditation and maintain that meditation in the tough times. So you can easily face into tough times. And how to face uh, to the tough times if you are a meditator. When you develop meditation, your mind easily start giving up things. If you practice meditation very well, you can easily give up things. Okay? So when you practice meditation to a good level, you can easily start giving up one by one by one. Not externally, but internally. And if you really develop your mind up to a good level of giving up, then you can easily sort out your problem. You can easily develop your mind up to a good level, and you can face into the tough time. Okay? So now we learn about meditation today, about 3 refuges today, and then we discuss about how to develop Dhamma and how to arrange Dhamma accordingly and develop our mind in a good level. So this talk makes basically we focus on introduction of meditation, introduction of Buddhism, and also how to develop meditation and what is the atmosphere. I just wanted to explain about the main part. Because in one Dhamma talk, we can't really explain everything in Buddhism. We have to explain few things only. So now I explain about the main parts, the main concepts and conditions that you can practice. This is just one door that I explained. There are many ways to start the path. This is not the only way that you should start Buddhism and the path. There are many other ways to start Buddhism and start path. Okay, so you have to read more. Buddhism, the only way to learn about the path and the meditation, you have to read and you have to listen. These days there are many talks available in the internet. These many talks available in other societies. They publish them easily, and many books are free to read in online. And many books are there are few publications are there, so you can easily download them. You can easily read them. Knowledge is very important before you do something. But knowledge is not the only thing here. Most important part is practice. But to practice, you need to know up to some level. So you have to read a little bit and then you have to practice. So study well, research about the things that you would want to practice, develop the things that you want to practice, develop your mind, try to develop your metta, try to develop your conditions, internal conditions, and try to focus on developing wholesome karma and wholesome activities. Try to be a nice person, try to help the world, and try to develop meditation and reach supreme bliss of Nibbana. So I wish you all the best, and I wish all of you for a happy and wonderful future and for a fruitful life with Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now is the time for us to ask questions, Q&A session.
Could you please explain us what is the difference between the Vipassana meditation and the Samatha meditation?
Okay, when you explain about meditation, we have 3 different sections in the pathway. Number 1 is Samatha Uppanga Vidassana, which means you start from concentration meditation, Samatha meditation, and you develop after that, and then you develop concentration up to a good level, and then you develop insight meditation, and then you reach Nibbana, Vipassana. Then you start, and the other categories start from Vipassana. By using Vipassana, insight meditation, you develop insight meditation up to some level, and because of that insight, you can develop small samadhi, and then you reach Nibbana. The third level, the third category, you practice samatha and Vipassana together. Okay, so this is the third category. There are 3 categories, 3 different categories. So now, these 3 categories, what is samatha? Samatha means concentration. There are 40 different techniques of samatha meditation. When you practice samatha, you just only concentrate for a while. You concentrate for a long time. Because of the concentration, you bring your mind into one point. Then your mind do not run here and there. Because of that concentration and stability that you develop, you can develop a stable concentration level, explained as first jhana. First stable concentration level. So in the samadhi meditation, you focus on one point, and you practice and practice and practice for that, and then you develop, by using that, you develop stable concentration level. So there are 4 levels of stable concentration in the Rupa section, 4 levels in the Rupa section. Altogether, there are 8 stable concentration levels. So this particular subject we call samatha meditation. So if you develop concentration by using any kind of meditation, if you point your mind into one place and just practice meditation, and without thinking, without analyzing, then there is samatha meditation. What is vipassana? Vipassana is analyzing. Descending and analyzing. You descend things and you analyze things. Like you look into your body and you see this body is a combination of fire element. There are 4 elements we explain in Buddhism. Entire things actually developed by fire element, earth element, water element, and heat air element. Fire, water, earth, and air. So then you can look at our body. In our body, there are something like bones and muscles and some part nails, hair. This part is earth element. And our body, we have air, no? Inhale, inhalation, exhalation, in the stomach, everywhere we have air. Those air space we call vayu section, air element. And also we have a lot of water in our body, sweat in our body, urine, blood. This part, Apo, water section, water element. And then we have heat section, heatness in our body, heatness in the stomach, heatness in our arms and other places in the body. So then we explain about heat element, fire element. So then when you look at a body, vipassana, you look at someone with the understanding of 4 elements. You descend that past person to 4 elements. Or maybe you analyze those elements more and more. Maybe you analyze the person and descend into 4 elements. So descending and analyzing this ability we call vipassana, which means see the things as it is. This is called vipassana. You look at the things, you see these things as it is. Called vipassana. So samatha means controlling and concentrating. Vipassana means analyzing and descending. Any other question?
Last time you motivated us to study Tripitaka, so me and some of my friends bought some books and started studying it. But sometimes it's very difficult to get insight into some difficult parts in Tripitaka. So how can we proceed with it?
Which book you bought?
Majjhima Nikaya.
Buddhist version.
Yeah. No.
So which part you is difficult?
Just sometimes we just read it, but we can't get the insight of the real part.
Better if you can find out the Buddhist version. The Buddhist version actually have it's more technical. With the Buddhist version is more technical. I can recommend you the Buddhist version. AP Soisa version is online. It's online version called AP Soisa version. These two I can recommend you. Other versions I cannot really recommend by myself. And before reading Tripitaka, it's better to read the books of Venukana and Chandimala Bhante's books. If you really cannot understand, better read the main concept like Parissampada and Bodhipakshika Dhamma and Mangala Dhamma, like that, the basic concept of Buddhism in those books, Venukana and Chandimala Bhante's books. First finish those books. Main books about Parissampada, books about Bodhipakshika Dhamma. Then you can learn about the concept. Then start reading Buddha Jayanti books. And I think, yeah. If not, the best way to learn Buddha Jayanti or read Buddha Jayanti is by associating a monk or a person who has knowledge about Tripitaka. Because it's very difficult sometimes to read Tripitaka, some parts. Like story parts are nice. So then you can skip the parts you don't understand, just read the story parts. At least you can get that understanding. So then if you're really interested in studying and analyzing things, just focus on the story parts. Just continue the story.
Just to add to that question, would you be able to recommend some sutras from Majjhima Nikaya?
Majjhima Nikaya, which book? First or second?
I think it's Monash.
No? Monash. Okay, then Majjhima Nikaya, my favorite is Brahmana Vagga. All the sutras, like Chanki Sutta. Chanki Sutta is like very nice. There are stories, a lot of stories about discussions. But Brahmana Vagga, they have a lot of Actually, Brahma Yoga is more suitable for people like you because you are more study-based people. There are a lot of questions and answers, like Q&A are there. So Brahmi is also like that. They had a lot of good educational background. So how these educational people with educational background deal with Buddha, you can really see that. So Brahmana Yoga is one of the best in the first book. I really recommend that to read. Chanki Sutta is one of my favorite personally. If you can read Chanki Sutta with Atthakatha explanation, much better. We are explaining about Majjhima Nikaya. I think you know about Majjhima Nikaya. No? Majjhima Nikaya is a book in Tripitaka. Majjhima Nikaya, and they ask which part is the best, and they say they bought a Majjhima Nikaya. Okay. Among other Nikayas, Majjhima Nikaya is one of the best because Majjhima Nikaya, they have more philosophical value there. Among other suttas, Majjhima Nikaya, they recognize Majjhima Nikaya as a philosophy-based Nikaya. So Majjhima Nikaya have more sutta with deep philosophy. And among them also Buddha discussed with Brahmins, because Brahmin was the most educated and reputed people in the society at the time. So then those people approached to Buddha and explained about their belief, and Buddha explained about his belief. So there's a discussion in between those two beliefs. Then at the end, the Brahmins really realized that his explanation was wonderful, and then they converted, and maybe some of them they accept. So then it's nice to read Brahmana Vagga in Majjhima Nikaya for the beginners especially, and it's very nice, and there are a lot of nice stories and discussions there. So you can start with Majjhima Nikaya Brahmana Vagga. Don't start with the first sutta. It's very complicated. If you start with the first sutta, you won't be able to read the book because the most difficult sutta in Majjhima Nikaya is the first sutta, Mulapalaya Sutta in the book. That book is the last sutta that you should read at the end. After you buy the third book of Majjhima Nikaya, after finishing that, read the first book. It's very difficult sutta because at the end, Buddha says, this sutta I explained to those Brahmins because they ask very deep questions. I want to break their ego. That's not really a simple sutta, just to understand. So then it's better you can read the more Brahmana and Gahapati Vagga also. This Gahapati Vagga also, there are a lot of political figures and merchants and all the people in that society during Buddha's time, how they deal with Buddha, what kind of questions that they ask of Buddha. Those information in Gahapati Vagga in Majjhima Nikaya. So it's actually Majjhima Nikaya first book is quite interesting, but you have to read the first Vagga, first paragraph, first sect of Sutta, first 10, and read from the second sect 10. Then you can enjoy that. And then read the 10 cent, first 10 and yeah.
So when Bhante, you refer to the Brahma world, which level is on from the 31 plane of existence?
Brahma realm is above Paranimita Vasavati. We have Chatu Maharajika in the lowest deities world. And the next, we are now talking about the realms. The lowest realm is Chatu Maharajika. The next realm is Tavatimsa. Next realm is Yama. Next realm is Tusita. Next realm is Nimmanurati. Next realm is Paranimita Vasavati. These are the deities world. This human world, from human to deities world I explained. Above Paranimita Vasavati, where the Mara lives, all other things are Brahma world. So after one human world and 6 deities world, all other things are Brahma world.
So the Brahma world is for the meditator.
Brahma world means for the jhana people, except Suddhavasa. Aviha, Atapa, Sudasa, and Akanektar is only for the Anagami people. And from that 5 to the deities world, from first jhana to fourth jhana. Above that, there are 4 realms for the Arupa Dhyana people. And the one world called Asanya Satta for the people who try to neutralize their mind and meditate. There's another kind of meditation called neutralizing mind, Pichitta. We call Asanya Satta, which means those people, they neutralize mind totally, they keep the body, but this is not a Buddhist teaching. You keep the body, you totally shut down your mind. And then you're reborn in a world with body without mind. This is called Asanya Satta. It's very, very complicated. And in Arupa Loka, you focus on mind, you descend the Rupa the materiality totally. You only focus on mentality, no materiality at all. So then you'll be born in a world without materials. No materials are there, only mind. It's called arupaloka. Those people, they can't really reason, they can't really attain nibbana, I think they have to stay there for a long time. And the other people, yes, for jhana people and for the anagami people.